So Sunday, we talked about, well, the sermon from Sunday was actually inspired by a conversation I was having with Dennis. And he was saying, there's a difference between attending a church and being a part of a church. And that just spurred like this whole thing of like connection. And so the name of the sermon on Sunday was God's Invitation. And I kind of talked about how Jesus, what Jesus did with the disciples, as they weren't just like attending Jesus's synagogue meetings. They were actually a part of his ministry, right? And then when the church exploded in the book of Acts with 3,000 converts, when all that happened, there were 4 things that Jesus did with his disciples. He spent time with them, he ate with them, he taught them, and then he challenged them. I mean, I think that you could break down a lot of what he did just in those 4 categories. And I think that as I get older, the more I realize that time is ticking away, ticking away. Sorry, but time is getting shorter. When you're in your 20s, 30s, more is ahead than behind. But when you hit your 50s, which is where I am, there might be a little less time ahead than there is behind, because I don't know if I'm going to be around till I'm 90. Might be 80, and I'm 50. You know what I'm saying? Time is getting short. So one of the most precious things that I have is my time, and how I spend my time shows how much I care about the people who are around me. And I want to spend my time being a part of something bigger than just me. And what better thing than the church, right? And that's what Jesus, when he said to the disciples, come and follow me, he wasn't like, hey, come attend a meeting. He was like, hey, come and be a part of something, right? And then he ate with them. And there's something really cool about sitting down and having a meal with people. And then he taught them. We're literally, you can see over the Bible, Jesus taught, and then he challenged them. When Jesus was asleep on the boat, I'm not sure he was really sleeping. I guess he could be. I'm not sure he was tired. I guess he could be. But a piece of me wonders, is he sleeping on the boat because he's testing them and challenging them to say, what are you going to do when I'm not around? Are you still going to have faith? He's challenging them. And so then you see this big, huge explosion of 3,000 people, and Jesus has reached thousands with the 12. How are these 12 going to reach 3,000 people? And you can go literally in the book of Acts, you can see during that explosion where the disciples were spending time with people, they were eating with people, they were teaching people, and they were challenging people. But they also set up other disciples to go and do the same kinds of things they were. And challenging them, hey, this isn't just about attending a meeting here and there. This is about being a part of something, being a part of the body of Christ. And I just challenged people on Sunday. I said, who are you spending time with? It's not just the pastor's job or a leader's job to spend time with people. It's not even a job. It's something that should come natural because you love people. Spend your time with one another, and sit down and, like, one of the challenges this week was invite somebody to dinner. What cool challenge is that? Doesn't even feel like a challenge, kind of, Right. And so that was all of that we kind of were talking about on Sunday. So any thoughts along that while I was sharing that?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes along with what I taught the week before, as far as, what you mentioned just on the boat, but I believe that he actually was resting because he spent so much time with people that day.
Sure.
That he had worn out. You do so much you pour into people. That's the reason why they work together. If you need to edify yourself, because if you don't edify yourself, as I was talking the week before, then you can't build relationships, because the church is more than just a gathering. It's about relationships.
Yeah.
And you can't effectively have good relationships with others if you can't first know who yourself is, have good self-awareness and stuff. And you're not gonna invite somebody to dinner if your house is a mess and you're all out of order.
That's a really good way of putting it.
So first, as I said 2 weeks ago, as we put time into ourselves and getting ourselves, then we're going to be effective.
Yeah, absolutely.
To have good relationships with others, and it's important that we do have some good things that we can trust. We don't want to make everybody our best friend, or that could be better, but we want to have a few people we can trust, and then we want a category of people where we reach out to, and we have to realize, and sometimes I think you got to have a balance between who are those close friends, who are those people you reach out to, and who you need to be careful with, who you can trust a lot, and they ask God for discernment with all that, and be an effective and a person that is a good friend and is somebody that people can trust to go to, and that you can build a relationship with. I think is what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Good stuff. Well, cool. Well, we've got a